these live visuals that's coming in of the IAF chief at this given point of time with the Prime Minister in Dibrugarh itself. They are still in Dibrugarh while the aerial show has come to an end. This is more of the IAF camps that are there in Assam at this given point of time, which is being explained at this point by the chief in terms of where all the camps are and the new particular equipments, all of giving an update of sorts, a report card of sorts of what all has been happening in this very region when we speak of developing the Indian Air Force further and the exercises and all of the jets that in fact were just shown in that aerial show itself, all of how the operations are continuing in this very area. It's a gist that's being brought to the Prime Minister by the IAF chief. These are live visuals that we are bringing to you from Dibrugarh at this point of time of the same. This is, in fact, the significance of the Moran bypass, which is, it's called a bypass because, of course, at the end of the day, it is a highway that we're speaking of. And then we are talking about how it has become a runway. So that is the very significance, the duality behind this infrastructural strip that's been brought to the push that it brings to the infrastructure of this region. All of that being summed up by the IAF chief to the Prime Minister at this point of time. I'll go back to Group Captain Vinod at this point of time. Group Captain Vinod, please continue with your response. You were giving us examples from your own time in the region and also while explaining the gaps that exist in the region where the more work needs to be done to develop the defense systems here.
Absolutely. In fact, just I was saying, by the time you reached Tejpur, it was third day. So it took a long time to reach Northeast. And today, a couple of days ago, I think I did 2 trips from Delhi to Guwahati and back. So it is that good. We had one crossing close to the Guwahati near a place called Rangia. Then the Tejpur crossing came up. Another bridge is being inaugurated today. Parashuram Kund is already there. So you have, and mind you, Brahmaputra is a huge river. In fact, at places, you stand on one side of the river, you can't see the other side. It is like a sea. It is that big. With a huge river comes huge problems in terms of deluge of water, etc. So all these things are being addressed today. Railway line, we didn't have railway line to Chabua. We have it now. We have wonderful roads in Wolong axis. The last time I went to Wolong, I remember I had to trek last 10 to 12 kilometers on road because there was no road. I mean, practically no road existed. And that is how 1962 war was fought in this region. Today, you have road going right up to the border face to face with Chinese. And what we are seeing now, I mean, I was fortunate to be what is called the catch paw, the first catch paw of Northeastern region, the Center for Air Tasking and Strike Planning for Aerial Warfare, the full form of catch paw. So having returned the war plan of this region, I exactly know what Air Chief is briefing Prime Minister, which probably I'm not at liberty to discuss right now. But suffice to say, he is explaining the strategic importance. And if you look at the black arrow that is pointing towards the direction that it was pointing towards, is exactly what I was telling you a while ago. A few air bases that have come up across Myanmar in China, which is less than the distance of Guwahati to this place, namely Baoshan and Dali. So these are a few places where China is really putting in a lot of effort, a lot of money. A lot of fighter squadrons are coming up with this is in the region of Kunming. So we have to be prepared. I'm not saying we are going to go offensive in this region, but I'm saying if you're not prepared, it could be a repeat 62, and which we don't want. 62, not many people know. Chinese came almost up to Tejpur. They crossed the entire valley and came down to the foothills of Himalayas, on the plains of Assam today. They went back because of the logistical reason or whatever the reason. We were at the receiving end in 62, and from since then, lot has changed. A lot has changed. And look at the visuals that you see. This is a highway looking exactly like a runway. So that is the kind of infrastructure we have developed all over India. I mean, today it is a pleasure to drive around in India. I mean, before your time, when you were born, driving on these roads were nothing short of a nightmare for people who were ground-born. We were thankful we were airborne, so we could go from A to B on a flight and pilot it ourselves. But that was not the case for 99% of India at that time. So these are few wonderful times ahead, both in terms of strategic importance as well as in terms of quality of life for common man. These are two very, very important things that we are addressing, especially in the Northeast and so far Northeast. From here to Chengdu is much, much closer than here to where we are seeing this visual. From here to probably Kolkata or Delhi. So China is very, very close from here. That we need to understand very, very, strongly. And there are 4 runways here, by the way. Not only Chabua, we have Monbari, we have Dinjan, and then one more runway which belongs to sister organization. So 4 huge runways are here. Monbari flights are every day. Jorat flights are every day. Northeast is very well connected. And thanks to the push that has been given by the separate ministry which has been created for Northeast. Over to you.
Right, Group Captain, thank you so much for joining us on India Today, and you've indeed detailed out how what it was like back in the day. In fact, you've given us examples from back in 62 itself, and how the landscape, when we speak of defense in this very area, defense sector in this very area, has changed, how there has been a major push, and of course, how the road ahead looks like. Thank you so much for putting all of that into perspective for our viewers. And viewers, we leave you with these very majestic visuals, spectacular visuals of the aerial show that just took place in Dibrugarh, Assam, as we speak. As we're wrapping up this very edition of the Bulletin. Do stay tuned to India Today for all the details and top stories that keep coming through the day.
से ऊपर चढ़ते हुए यह विमान जमीन छोड़ने के कुछ ही क्षण में युद्ध के लिए तैयार हो जाता है।